Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy on his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that?
Of teeth. Hey, guide over us. Holy Emmanuel, Alice, his knees could never get weak.
Good yawning this morning, and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. If you heard the opening song just now, that'll give you a sense of what our conversation is going to be about today. I have guests in studio. Joining me today are Prophet Celestial Thompson and Priest Diamond. And we're going to have a very interesting conversation when we get into the show. It is Wednesday, the 16th of August, 2023, and you are on the clock. On the clock, we have conversations that help us understand and navigate a rapidly changing Bahamas. I've got lots to talk about this morning, so let's get going with our Sand Dollar Live read. Tomorrow, Thursday the 17th, and Friday the 18th of August, Central Bank representatives will be giving out sand dollars at Fresh Market Harbor Bay location. Show your Sand Dollar-enabled digital wallet at the door and receive $20. Spend $18 or more in sand dollars at the register and get $5 back when you leave the store. This offer is limited to the first 100 customers to show their Sand Dollar-enabled wallet at each location. One top-up per person, so as many people as possible can experience the Sand Dollar. For more details, visit any of the Sand Dollar social media pages or call 302-9880. That's 302-9880. Now, on to our on-the-clock Sand Dollar Trivia giveaway. Every day for the next 2 months, we'll be giving away Sand Dollars to digital wallet holders. Every week, players can win $30 in Sand Dollars. To be eligible to win, you must have a digital wallet and answer the trivia question correctly. When you call in, give the producer your name and number. If you answer the question correctly, I will transfer you back to the producer just to confirm that we have all of your information. Listeners are restricted to one transfer for the duration of the competition. You can only win once. The numbers to call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and 242-300-5720. That's 242-300-5720, toll free for people in the Bahamas but not in New Providence. Text line, powered by BTC, 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. If you send an answer by text, I need your wallet information in the same text. Here is our first question. What once popular wine was affectionately called Mother Pratt? What? I don't drink wine, so I don't know if it's still popular. What popular wine in the Bahamas is known as or was affectionately called Mother Pratt? The numbers to call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and 242-300-5720. I got a text right away, but texter, I will need your wallet information in the text for it to be received as a correct answer. So you could please send your wallet information, see if you could claim this prize. What once popular wine was affectionately called Mother Pratt? For all y'all wine drinkers out there. Now we're going to get into our housekeeping. I got a lot of happy birthdays. Happy birthday to the one and only Juan McCartney, host of the show, The Revolution. And I'm not going to say former anything. I'm not going to say former anything. This boy is the host of the revolution, and we hopefully may get the revolution back. But even if we don't see Warren McCartney back at Guardian Talk Radio, happy birthday, boy. And congratulations. What a birthday gift to get. What a birthday gift to receive. Blessings on to you. Also, happy birthday to Maria Govan, award-winning filmmaker. And happy birthday to Jason Evans, a.k.a. Artist Javan, a.k.a. the art teacher. I know you're going in retirement, but I ain't going to say former art teacher neither, sir. The students, them love you. Graphic designer, comedian, one of the, if not the funniest person at the spot. Todd Catcher Presents, Bahamas Improv Comedy House. One of the funniest. And also, happy belated birthday to my good cousin, Nicole Bethel. That's my Aunt Joan's daughter. Anyway, happy birthday to all of y'all. Now, on to some more news. Like I said, I have guests in studio, so I will not be able to delve into all of these headlines, but I want to mention them. There's the issue about jitney fares. Some jitney drivers have already increased their fares. The Jitney Association says they have not authorized an increase in fares yet. Dear jitney drivers, please be fair with your fares. We appreciate the current affairs. And so you know what to do. Like if Erin Greene get on your bus, you could say, Erin, I can need you to pay $150. I could be too ashamed. Unless I ain't got it and I could tell you, right? But I could be too ashamed to not pay the $150 if I got the $150. But please be fair. Jitney drivers, people using jitneys are using them because that is their main and usually their only means of transportation. Another headline, 8-year-old assaulted by neighbor. This is a horrible headline. I'm drawing attention to it because the more people in governance attempt to convince us that women's rights activists are just being hysterical about the sharp rise in violence against women and girls and minor boys, while you are explaining to us why we don't need gender-specific legislation, we have more and more instances of people being targeted because of their gender. When I say that, what I mean is it's a little 8-year-old girl. Predators target who they think will be the easiest prey. And they always think that women and young girls are the easiest prey. Another story that I will touch on briefly. Bottom fold, front page, Nassau Guardian. Parents arrested in connection with 2-year-old's death. Police said the parents of a 2-year-old boy were arrested in connection with his death. The parents, a 23-year-old man and 20-year-old woman, residents of Soldier Road, were arrested for manslaughter by negligence, police said. Police said the couple were driving in the area of Robinson Road and Old Trail Road on Saturday when motorists alerted them that their toddler's head was hanging out the rear passenger window. The toddler, police said, was in an unconscious state. Subsequently, the toddler was removed from the window and transported to the hospital via private vehicle, where he later succumbed, police said. These parents have lost the best part of themselves. And so we have to find a way to hold them to account without destroying them even further. But this is the pinnacle. This is it. This is the limit. A child who had no control over their own circumstances suffers the consequences of their parents' actions. This isn't a matter of if they won't kill themselves on the road, let them kill themselves on the road. This horrible attitude that we have adopted towards each other. This isn't that. But we stand with these parents and we will accept our own guilt in this because we are watching this happen every day on the road. And I could say that because this Friday, a friend sent me a video of a woman driving while using her cell phone after she veered into his lane and almost hit him, while her child was standing, her toddler was standing in the front seat leaning on the passenger door. We, the general public, can take a stand. We can compel each other, our peers, our family members, to do better and to be better. I was at Shirley and Mackey Street intersection yesterday. There were unannounced road works on Shirley Street west of the intersection, closer to Ebenezer Church. There's no indication the road works ahead. Nobody knew why the traffic was backed up forever. But I can tell you what, 8 out of 10 people didn't care why the traffic was backed up. All they cared about was going where they were going. And for them, that justified running red lights, ignoring people in the road, ignoring those who have the right of way, forcing themselves into traffic by turning left on red, voiced off turning right on red. I just want to say, Pinder's Custom Brokerage. Very rarely do I call the names of companies whose staff blatantly ignore traffic controls. But to see an 18-wheeler rolling through a stop sign, why? Because who can stop them? Is why. It's time to start calling names. And I harp on Mackey and Shirley Street. I can tell you why. Because this is a class issue. See, I expect poor people who can't pay for extra time in their day by hiring a gardener or hiring a housekeeper or hiring a nanny for the children, right? I expect those people to engage the world with a degree of urgency that seems like crisis, because that's what they're experiencing in their lives. But for the fancy middle class and upper class people that traverse Mackey and Shirley Street intersections, you have no excuse for carrying on the way that you do behind the wheel of your car. White, black, Chinese, Bahamian, foreign, all of you act like you spend too much money to be held to account or to the same laws that ordinary poor people are held to. And that includes MPs, politicians, people in the CD, the diplomatic plates. That includes all of you. I witness all of you, particularly at that intersection, act as if the law does not apply to you. And you're doing it with your children in the car. How are the police supposed to police adults who, as children, watch their parents break every law and cuss at anybody that would give any indication that they did something wrong? Who are you raising? All we can do is pray that those children are blessed with opportunities to interact with other people in other circumstances and other systems that work, and that they can glean something from that. It's us. We've disregarded the social contract. And I want to say this, Bahamians, you're not going to get away with saying, were they willing to kill their own children? Why should I look out for them? It's not that type of situation. You obviously don't understand how the maths, how things add up, what the cost of things really are. There is a cost for being silent. There is a cost for not engaging, for not saying what you know or doing what you know you ought to say or do when you know you ought to say or do it. That's why I blow my horn when I see people doing the most insane things, like driving up on a sidewalk with people on the sidewalk to go around a car that stopped in the road. Blow your horn. Give a small indication that the whole will not accept this behavior. See, yesterday we had a conversation about whether migrants or people generally should be allowed to speak their first language on the work site in public places. People raised very serious and valid concerns about the issue. And I ended the show by saying that I can acknowledge those concerns, right? An example given by a bus driver that he listened to some Haitian descent girls plot on some Bahamian girls who had no idea what they were saying in Creole. You can see that example. But should we limit ourselves to prevent someone from enjoying an inalienable human right? Or should we better ourselves so that everybody in the space can enjoy what they are entitled to? Right? And in the same way, it's up to us not to restrict other people's rights, but to build capacity and prepare ourselves to be in an environment where everybody can make healthy decisions about their own life and the way they want to live it. This is a social contract on the road. This is what matters. Not the laws that these boy them write down and table or pass, don't pass. Not what they talking about in cabinet. None of that. What matters are the social contracts that we commit ourselves to. People get the governments they deserve. That's why I commit to governing myself. And the producer going to go look for Gnaps. Anyway, we're going to end this segment of the show. We're going to get into our conversation this morning with our guest. I've got a correct answer for our trivia question. The popular wine, affectionately called Mother Pratt in the Bahamas, is Lamothe Parot. I don't know how they get from Lamothe Parot. I mean, it is, you can see how they get from Lamothe Parot to Mother Pratt. Everybody say, "Boy, look here, give me some of that give me some Mother Pratt, man. That go work. So we got an answer for that. I got to get into the conversation with my guests. Good morning, Prophet Celestial Thompson, and good morning, Priest Diamond.
Good morning.
Good morning. Remember, you got to speak directly into the mic. Yeah.
Good morning.
Blessed morning, Bahamas.
Good morning. Please introduce yourselves. Tell the audience who you are.
My name is Celestial Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Honorable Priest Ethelbert Harrison, also known as Priest Diamond.
And where do you all hail from?
You mean
Yeah, where your people's from?
my parents hailed from Cat Island and Andros on Eleuthera, respectively.
Okay.
I'm deeply descended from back in the 18th century, coming into the with my grandfather and great-grandparents coming in from Barbados. Actually came here on the contract to start the police force here in the Bahamas. Everybody else is Bahamians born here, growing up here in the Bahamas, right here in Nassau.
Nice. We use my cousin. My paternal ancestors are also from
Barbados.
Yeah, my grandfather, my paternal grandfather from Barbados.
Yeah.
He may come on the same plane.
Well, our surname Harrison actually is a predominant name in Barbados.
Barbados, yes. Well, look here, cousin, from a different dozen. Okay, so gentlemen, tell us what you're here to talk about this morning.
We're here to talk about the topic of nation building and the reason why we must proclaim our sovereignty in relations to that.
Okay.
It is a wide-ranging topic, and I don't know if we would be able to cover all the intricacies of it in just one show. So
All
we
right.
would hope that you would have us back to continue the same.
That's how I set it up, so I can make sure you come back.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Give
Okay.
thanks.
You come today to present an idea to the general wider population.
Yes.
When you spoke to me about it, I got excited because it appeared to me that you guys are working on a new model of governance.
Yes, we are.
Absolutely. Tell us about it.
The new model of governance that we would like to, with the larger majorities agreement to this plan, we would like to introduce basically is a government that is a concept that deals first of all with the acknowledgement of our sovereignty.
Okay. And what do you mean by sovereignty in this context?
Our ability to basically make our own laws first and foremost. We know that
Okay.
we have lived under a country for the last, say, 50 years,
Yeah.
in which the contract that you was talking about, the social contract that is predicated upon the 1973 Constitution, did not emanate from any of the peoples that we call Bahamians. This was a foreign influence document whose correct term is the Order of Britain. And that was renamed the Bahamian Constitution as we know it in 1973. And so we find that a lot of the provisions in the Constitution does not allow for us as a separate people to realize and maximize our fullest potential as Bahamians. That document allowed for at that time and continue to provide for what we would call a limited grant, the ARC. We say independently, but it's not even independently because we have here still the vestiges of the British Empire under the form of the Governor General and the British monarchy, its king.
All right. So you want to replace this existing model of governance because it is essentially fraudulent. It presents the idea that we're independent, but if you look at it, if you look at the actual document, it tells you it was the Order of Britain.
Yes.
And even though our legislators would have contributed to the document, the framework itself is a template produced by those who once oppressed us.
Very much so. And the reason
We couldn't even say any of our people of our own descent would have even had an opportunity of penning that document. So it was actually penned by others and not out of the minds of Bahamians.
Okay.
and we spoke to one of the actual forefathers, one of the recipients of that document, physical recipient of it. And he told us a story in relation to how that document was received and introduced into this government. He was commissioned along with two others, Paul L. Adley at that time, and Ada Dion Hanna at that time, along with Loftus Roker. And they went to Britain under the direction of the then Honorable Sir Lyndon Pinland. And there they were issued this document. So in fact, they had no involvement in its penmanship.
Okay. All right. Wow.
So that document was not designed or drawn up by the minds of people who would have us at their best interest at heart, the Bahamian people. So we would like to use a document that is developed, designed, manufactured by Bahamian people.
All right. So your new model of governance will be rooted in a constitution-style document like we currently have.
Yes.
So what do you intend, before we get to what the new model of governance looks like, what is the document that you intend to replace this existing constitution with?
Well, the document, first of all, would be formulated as Honorable Priest said, based upon laws that the majority of Bahamian people would come together and agree to.
Okay.
It would it would be informed primarily by the Bahamian people. So it would be domestic influence as opposed to
Foreign
influence. And for us, that's very important. We live in a separate country. Our issues that we face on a daily basis, as Bahamian people, is not only relative to, but relegated to this country. And so for someone to impose a document upon us from another country whose daily existence may not be the daily existence that we actually must take into consideration, then it would naturally bring about abuses and injustices. And so what we say is that how the framework of it would be actually put together by the collective Bahamian people. In fact, we do have an existing constitution.
Okay.
As if we're waiting for these things to actually come into existence.
Right. So what is that existing constitution that your body is working from?
When you say what is that existing constitution, you mean the name of it?
Yeah, well, tell me, what does it look like? What is it?
Well, the
Or that you're building from?
Yes.
And that you'll offer the Bahamian people as a foundation to create a full compendium, a full collection of laws for governance.
Yes. And so where in this style government that we're presently underneath, we have what is called a representative form of constitutional democracy.
Okay.
And where you have what is called the Governor General, the Prime Minister, the Cabinet,
Yeah.
and the representative,
Right, the
who the people
executive,
choose,
the legislature.
and then the people is last.
Yeah.
Under our government, it would be just to the reverse. We are putting forth the concept of a direct government, and that means that every Bahamian will be involved in their own governance. So we will essentially cut out the concept of the middleman, the elective representative.
Now, stick a pin. Producer, let's get ready for a break. Yesterday on the show, someone referenced the fact that the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, has implemented or intends to implement a new policy that if you want to vote, that you have to go through a civics course. And I had an initial reflexive response to that, which was no. I don't need, if I'm a citizen of a country, I don't need to know anything to be able to vote. And I don't need to participate in anything to be able to vote. If I have the right to vote, I could prepare myself in any way or not prepare myself at all. I don't need to know who the candidate, right? I don't need to do research. There's no legal or no theoretical requirement, right? That the right to vote can only be enjoyed if coupled by a commitment to. If I, as a citizen, I have the right to vote. In this particular system, though, will I have an inherent responsibility as a citizen to participate in things? Will I be penalized if you say, man, Greene, you live in this community, you have to come to this vote, and I say, but brethren, I sleeping, leave me. I can come vote, but I don't have to come to your meetings. I don't need, right? Will your system require a greater degree of involvement and participation from the average citizen?
We would say with this system that we have, you don't even vote, but you are requested to be active in the activities of your own government. So every citizen is required to play a role within this government.
Absolutely.
It would be to your best interest, even though I may not agree with what you said was this reason why, in relation to you must be first civically
prepared or educated.
Educated. What I would say as a caveat is this: how can you actually understand the issues that may face your community or the nation at large if you don't know or is aware of pertinent information that may help to aid your decision? You see?
Absolutely.
And one of the things that we have done in this community under representative form of government that has led directly to the injustices and abuses, we have sit back and allowed them to make decisions. So, yes, your direct involvement, there was no penalty, but your direct involvement is actually
What
best.
drives the system, yeah.
Indeed, yes.
Absolutely. Producer, let's go to a break. When we get back from the break, guys, do you have a name for this new model of governance?
Yes.
Let's get into it and let's look at some of the most basic or foundational parts of that system. And then let me know who's leading this initiative and who's supporting the initiative. When we get back from the break, I'm going to throw out our second trivia question for the day, people. You tuned into Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. You're on the clock with Erin Greene, and joining me this morning is Priest Diamond and Prophet Salatiel Thompson. We'll be right back.
School bag, books, pencils, uniform. Oh Lord, and I gotta buy snacks too.
The Guardian Media Group and AML Foods want to help families in need with our first ever Back to School Snackathon. What's a snackathon? Well, we want to help by assisting in donating school snacks to children that may need them as they head back to school this year. To be a part of our snackathon, all you have to do is shop at your favorite Solomon Superstore or Fresh Market. At the store, you can donate your pre-existing loyalty points, or you can donate cash directly at the register. Every single penny will go towards purchasing snacks that will be donated for distribution by the Bahamas Feeding Network and Hands for Hunger. Together, we can ensure that every child that opens their backpack this year will have a snack and a smile.
Get involved, get involved. Get involved, get involved.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Good morning and welcome back. You're on the clock with Erin Greene. Listen, we're having an exciting conversation this morning. The numbers to call 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, 242-300-5720. Now, this is not a political show. We're not talking about politics, right? We're talking about governance. I want to say to people who are who desperate for a new system of governance, right? You all usually say, I'm looking for a different political party, right? I'm looking for a different party to vote for. And I want to suggest that you look for a different culture to engage with, or a different system of governance
Indeed.
to engage with. And then the parties will come along,
Precisely.
right?
The situation in this country is so drastic when it comes to our elected officials having the rule to carry our country forward. It's like this is why we're not so much considered a party. It's time for the partying to stop. And we need to bring forward real sustenance to heal our people, to take our nation forward. And this is what we come to present to the Bahamas.
Because what I've seen over the last 20, 30 years is party culture impacting, influencing, and being imported into governance and governance policy.
Indeed. And this is one of the reasons why, when we look at the trajectory of the erosion of our country in its ability to be rightly governed, we could actually track that, and we could actually, if we objectively look at the evidence and the information, we could rest it at the doors of the same parties that you're talking about right now. The minute you begin to develop a party system, or you're encouraged to develop a party system in a nation, the first thing begin to occur is you divide the people, naturally. And that division may not be one that is beneficial to the collective people. What we represent here does not only relate to black people. There isn't black people alone that live in this country. Mm-hmm. There are white people, and we speak to the white and we speak to the black, because this country is shared by black and white. Mm-hmm. So the form of government, the type of government, and the manner in which we intend to have this operated and function, everybody in this country must be able to relate to this. under the present system that we're underneath, no one can objectively deny that the manner in which this government has been going forth under this two-party system is that every 5 years, only segments of the population's interests are served. This is unacceptable. And this is the injury of our country that calls itself a modern democracy. This is a shame, the way in which our so-called leaders has allowed themselves through foreign control and influence to actually run this country. So the majority of the Bahamian population are not served under the system.
Absolutely. Let's stick a pin there. I get getting excited. It's for me. I got to calm down.
Yes,
17,000 questions. Guys, give me a caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the clock.
Good day, sir. This talking away along with you and your partner, Erin.
Good morning, Bremen. How you doing?
I'm holding. We need justice, law, and order in this country.
Yes, we do.
But before I speak to the gentleman, right? The gentleman, I wish that the Ministry of Health would close down these houses which doesn't have any toilet, because it's a hazard to environment.
I got you, Bremen.
To the neighborhood.
I'd like to bring that.
Especially in Street.
I'd like to bring that into our conversation. Okay. Thank you, Bremen. Here is a resident who has a particular complaint, and I can appreciate his frustration because it's not a political issue, and it's not even a governance issue, but it goes beyond that. This is a humanity issue.
Indeed.
And go on, sir.
There was a point in time when we were trying to rectify that problem some years ago, from around 2007 to 2009, when we started the project within Fox Hill. And we were going around renovating a lot of the homes and making sure that there were flushing toilets and sewer within these residents. That's part of our plan to eradicate that problem. Simply because you could go throughout what we call the grassroots areas, and a lot of them, Angliston, Fox Hill, still remains. St. Barnabas, you would still see their homes with no flushing toilets, no sewer systems in place and whatnot. And it's hard. The economy is rough, so a lot of people can't afford certain things. So the monies we take and waste on a whole lot of things like foreign carnival and all these things, it's a lot of things we could rectify and put in place to make sure these situations aren't do.
Absolutely. I say all the time, we spend funds intended for collective and national development on disposable personal experiences.
Indeed. And what I would like to say to that is this. Again, the elected officials are there to meet the interests of the Bahamian people. And these are, like you say, these are not personal issues. These are national interests. The health, because when you're dealing with waste, human waste, it deals with the health of not only the individual, but the society as a whole. You see? And so this is supposed to be a modern country. And so under the interests of this country, its people has a right to expect the ability for the government to put in and make available, the elected officials who they pay a salary to make available proper infrastructure that these things can be properly carried out. Now, there may be some people who may say, well, the elected officials has no responsibility in providing these things. But that's one of the reasons why this government is ineffective. Under the system that we are presenting, it would be part and parcel of this system to ensure that every citizen has all its basic rights, including what the gentleman caller has said.
Absolutely.
Poverty, which has been driven by this two-party system, is what drives a lot of the issues that faces the average Bahamian right now.
Absolutely. Let's go to this caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the clock.
Erin, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I don't know who the two gentlemen is in the studio.
Well, joining us today are Prophet Celestial Thompson and Priest Diamond.
Okay. I say that to say they are absolutely right about what they're saying. The majority of Bahamians does not benefit from party politics, And once we could get out of that, we'll have a better Bahamas. You shouldn't have to affiliate yourself with no particular government who's in power to be able to benefit from your country. Okay? As long as you are a Bahamian, you should be able to benefit like equally with all man, okay? I
Yes.
see you could use me for an example. I'm a person who work in the community. Out of my pocket. And you can't even get the sitting member of parliament in the community to assist you unless you're wearing a particular flag or color. And I think that is wrong. You understand? Every time these, like you said, these same two government party come in, it's like if you're not in grounds with them, campaign with them, walk along with them, don't care what you need or what you're doing, and same as your kids. And that's why the majority of the children, them educated, is going off this island and never to return because politics take over our country.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm listening to them, and I couldn't agree with them more.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's the
Thank you,
thing.
caller.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you, caller. And this is one of the reasons why we've come to the nation to present our case. We say to the nation for the last 50-odd years, you've dealt with a situation in which you've seen the steady decline socially, politically, agriculturally, economically, spiritually of our country. The steady decline of anyone objectively was to look at it. And for the most part, your elected officials has had no involvement in the righting of the ship that they love every 5 years to begin to agitate for your vote for. They do not deserve it. They do not deserve it. Hear me good. What we are saying is this. The system that we are presenting, every Bahamian, black and white, would be involved, and the manner in which it would be implemented, you would see that this is not just your involvement normally, meaning that it's just talk, but we have structured a system through the grace and the guidance of our ancestors that every Bahamian would practically be able to benefit of the system.
Now, I say I got a caller on the line. Caller, give me 3 seconds. After the caller, contact information for people who want to be a part of this movement, right? They want to learn more. They want to meet with you guys or meet with the group when it meets. When we get back from this caller, and then let's get into some formal structure about the new form of government. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Greene and Mr. Nuri.
Good morning, sir. How you do?
Sparky here.
Yes, sir.
You know, listening to some of the voices, I was out busy trying to do some things around the house, and I heard some comments. You know, my input is, I've been voting since I was 18. Again, 72 now. PLP, Valley Boy, all my life. And then I moved down in Pride State, still PLP. Like the lady said, you campaign with them. You walk with them. You WhatsApp and Facebook, and you do everything to help them come in. They come to your house, bring your drinks, sit on your porch, talk with you, come to your birthday party, your children's birthday party, everything before election. You ain't asking them for no money, no fridge, no stove, no nothing. You help them get in there, especially these rookie people. And I keep saying, oh, these rookie MPs will be put in there this time. All of a sudden, when they get a bodyguard, a chauffeur, and when government bids for the car, with free gas and everything, what we pay for, the taxpayers, you can't call their office. You leave a message to their office on the WhatsApp, on the telephone. You call the MP, he don't answer you. Text him, he don't answer you. You voice note him, he don't answer you. You send him pictures.
Absolutely.
Say, hey, bro, I ain't see you once since you gone in the House Assembly.
Sparky, you only running me hot. Come on, let's push it forward.
This is the truth. We do it every 5 years.
Yes.
You gotta get it out. You gotta say it to them now. You see them going to every ball, every party. They dressing up pictures with them, and they wife a long dress going to every.
We know, Sparky. Let's push it forward, because right now I about to be a Cambodian citizen.
And then they won't come back around. You talking about, but give me another chance. It's difficult to do, though. You might be a PLP, like Papa say. Sometimes it's hard to vote for your own party because they treat you so bad.
Yes, Sparky.
And you ain't asking them for nothing. You just ask them to check your constituents.
Thank you.
Check the people to check what you're supposed to do.
Thank you, Sparky. I just want to make this point. Sparky, I imagine at this point, even some of these candidates and politicians within the party system are frustrated by the system that they are forced to work under. One more caller. Good morning, caller.
My good friend Erin, good morning, CA.
Good morning. How you do?
I'm not going to do all that diatribe because, you know, we all heard all these things before. The only frustrating part about it is, you know, we have Bahamians who sit back, hear these things, and because they have chosen a political side, they decide to attack people who are voicing not just their opinions, but but also the opinions of many persons in these communities who are either unable to call or afraid to call. You know, when is the political patronage gonna cease? We all are taxpayers in this country. We all pay our fair share, or we have tried to pay our fair share. But we have so many proponents out here who, because they are on these political lines, and these small crumbs from the table, they figure that's all they're worth, and the rest of us aren't worth anything.
Yes.
That is the troublesome mindset that a lot of these people have. And until we come together, and I always say, until we come together as Bahamians to understand that our country is under siege, our people are treated as if we are fifth-rated citizens in this country, and we demand and deserve better, we are not going to get any better. So we got to fix these politicians in Parliament. We got to make our demands. We have to make sure to keep their feet to the fire and make sure that we can live comfortably in this country once and for all. Thanks for taking my call this morning.
Absolutely.
Thank you, caller.
Caller, first and foremost, I want to absolutely give you the thanks. Yes, I want to absolutely give you thanks and praise for the statement you've made, and also you, Sparky. But we're here to say this is the reason why we have come forward to present this type of government. I'm asking all of you under the power of my voice this morning, my name is Rachel Thompson, not to be satisfied with the two-party system that you have experienced for the last 50 years. We're talking about not a representative form of government. Every abuse that you can list, you could put it at the feet of this type of government that we've operated underneath.
Right.
We're talking about
not necessarily the people, the system.
The system is the problem.
Yeah.
Because no one cannot convince me that there have been men and women who went there genuinely to change it. But you must understand that the system does not allow for it to be changed. And to give you a brief example, for those who may doubt what I'm saying, when the 1973 Constitution was instituted into this country, there was a provision in the 1973 Constitution in Chapter 30, and it's called the Savings Clause. And what it says is that the pre-existing laws, the pre-existing laws are the laws that created the conditions of the Collins Wall, that created segregation in this country and apartheid in this country. The pre-existing laws are the laws that provided that the average black Bahamian had a ceiling to their pursuits and endeavors. The pre-existing laws provided that the division between so-called black and white people in this country. Now, the 73 Constitution was supposed to actually create an equal playing field. However, they inserted something called the Savings Clause, and in the Savings Clause it says that if any rights available to the common citizens between 16 to 27 in its article came into conflict with the pre-existing laws of the Saving Clause, the pre-existing laws must preempt it. So in fact, we're still operating under those pre-existing laws. This is why your politicians who you put into power, including your prime minister and the governor general, they swear an oath to uphold the interests of the queen and her heirs in perpetuity. Now, I don't want to run on with the problem. I'm here for solution. No. So let me begin to tell you the solutions.
Now, look here, we're all out of time, which means you have to come back.
Yes.
Give us your contact information so people who can't wait for you to come back can connect with you directly.
Okay. We have a website up and running at this time, and it's called Sovereign, SOVEREIGN, Kingship, KINGSHIP.com. That's all small letters, all together. You can reach us at 242-827-1412.
815-8147.
All right.
May I say, family, we are not talking divisive. Look beyond how you may perceive us with the terms prophet and priest. Look beyond how people may want to place us in a particular niche. We are not in any niche. We are Bahamians first and foremost. I would leave with this. For the last several years, many of your prophets and priests has been saying, and I want you to pay close attention, including the beloved Miles Monroe, that this country that will raise up men and women to govern this country, not of the usual ilk. They wouldn't be the normal politicians that came out of your universities and colleges with a background where they went to some type of foreign place and became indoctrinated, and to come back home and to saddle you with that indoctrination. These men and women will be ordinary Bahamian citizens, passionate about their land, right? And we submit that we are those people. We have come to fulfill that. Give us a chance. That's all we're asking for. Give us a listening ear.
Absolutely. Priest Diamond, we're at the end of the show. Any words?
Yes, we have a structure, we have a part of our structure called the Precinct of the People, and this includes every individual Bahamian. We'd like to share this information, so we would be back, and we give thanks for the listening Bahamas today, and ask that you get in contact with us, find out what else would we come to present, that we are actually here to make a better Bahamas. We actually want to be that model that the world can see us and want to match the manner of our bearing.
Absolutely. We're not talking politics or religion today. We're talking culture. We're talking the culture of our lives. I'd like to thank you, and nation building. I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for joining me this morning. I'm going to have you guys back on, if not next week, week after next. This is an exciting conversation, and I know Bahamians are desperate for new ideas, new visions, and new opportunities to experience and govern themselves in a more healthy way. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you,
guys. Stay tuned. Guardian Radio AM is up next. We haven't forgotten you. It's still Wednesday. Man down, mash up on the clock. Guardian Radio AM Wednesday. Gentlemen, once again, blessings and thank you for bringing this word to us today.
Greatly appreciate you, Erin, for having us.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. You guys, stay tuned. Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. Buy your local paper at Freeport convenience stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Want to reach your Grand Bahama customers? Then call Barefoot Marketing at 827-4578 or message them for ad rates via their Facebook page. Advertising opportunities now include classified ads too. Keep up with all the latest Grand Bahama news in the Nassau Guardian newspaper every Tuesday.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.